Hey everyone, it's Gus Gish from the 90s Magician. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, we're going to discuss what a Xennial is, Xellennial, and Xellennial, and what the difference is. This is Gus Explains It All. Let's roll the intro. Oh, hey, welcome back. Now, before we get into the video, I want to shout out my newest subs, Jerry and Skylar. Right now we're at 19 subs, and when we get to 100, I'm definitely doing a giveaway. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell notification, and give this video a like. Let's shoot for at least 20 likes. I think that's possible. Speaking of giveaways, I still don't have a winner for my unboxing video. If you haven't seen it, click this little info card right here, but don't do it yet. Do it after the video. Like, go back and then click it. This is what it's about. This is Ickis, this is Crumb, and this is, if you know the answer, put the name in the comments below, and if you comment in the other video, you'll have 2 times the chance of winning. Alright, let's get in the video. What is a Xellennial anyway? Well, it's nothing. It's a made-up word, a micro-generation that mixes Generation Y, first generation Millennials, late Generation Xers, and it's what's called the Oregon Trail generation. In a nutshell, a Xellennial are kids that are born between 1977 and 1987. Just a nice round 10-year micro-generation there. According to Merriam-Webster's Words to Watch, a Xennial is someone born between 1977 and 1983. It's created by a writer named Sarah Stackcom? I'll put it right there. Her article in Good Magazine. I semi-totally agree with this, except for the years. I think that they should include babies that were born in 1985 and 1987. According to some articles online, which wasn't a word when we were kids, described as having an analog childhood and a digital adulthood. A Mashable infographic claims that millennials are born between 1980 and 1990. The actual Generation Y, if you will.
As if!
Most of us didn't even have MySpace until high school. Simply put, we didn't grow up with computers, but we had them in our high schools for sure. Urban Dictionary describes Xellennials. If you're born in the 90s, you're a 90s baby. Or, as according to Urban Dictionary, a 90s tot. I've come up with a new word that is all-inclusive of the generation gap between Generation Xers and Millennials, and I call it Xellennials. Those babies were born between 1977 and 1987. We grew up on analog TV, antennas, handheld video games, coin arcades, roller rinks, and of course, outside. We had cassette tapes, vinyls, foxtails, VHSs, landlines with crazy long phone cords that sometimes hurt, if you are following me there, CDs, Discman with the anti-skip that didn't work, and of course we all wanted that Talk Boy that Kevin McAllister had in Home Alone. When we went to restaurants, we were asked if we wanted to sit in smoking or non-smoking sections. That went away in the mid-90s. We can all remember getting our first library card, our first Blockbuster card, our first Hastings card, Hollywood Video, and also remember the ability of being able to rent movies by ourselves. We got cell phones, but in the 2000s and in high school, we never used them to talk on the phone or text. I had no phone numbers in my phone, and I basically used my phone to play Snake. And I was pretty good at it on the Nokia Snake game. So why does this matter? Well, it doesn't. Not really, but for some of us, being called a millennial is not really the way to describe us. And being called Gen X is not also a way to describe us. We're that gap in between, which is why there's people that disagree with this, and there's people that totally agree with this. And like I said, the years might be different, but the feeling's the same. Honestly, it's just a way to brag about how you had it when you were a kid. You know, you can say things like back in my day, or kids nowadays, or whatever the case may be. No better, no worse, really, because think about it. Now kids have technology at their fingertips. When we went to restaurants, we had to color or we had to talk. We couldn't sit on our phones, we couldn't be on a tablet, or anything like that. It's just different. We're outside all day with your friends until the lights came on. I know that's very much a big generation thing right there, especially prior to TVs and everything. But, I mean, you're outside skating, you were outside playing hockey, playing cops and robbers. It just was the way it was. We had video games and they were awesome, but we didn't spend all of our time on video games. I felt like defining this once and for all because, man, there's a lot of I love the 90s groups and stuff like that out there, and this is a pretty big topic of discussion. A lot of people get offended when a 90s baby claims to be a 90s kid, and they talk about SpongeBob being a 90s show. It wasn't a 90s show. I mean, it came out very late 90s, but it wasn't like Rugrats, or it wasn't like Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
Or Gargoyles, or the Batman animated series. Like, those were actual 90s shows. A lot of heated debate over this, so I just kind of wanted to come up with a word that included the 1977 kids all the way to the 1987 kids, because when I graduated, there were a couple years after me that had the same kind of struggle, which wasn't even a struggle, it was super fun. If you agree with me, tell me why. And if you disagree with me, tell me why. Comments below. Go ahead. Now, if you're still confused about what a Xellennial is, or if you might be a Xellennial, I came up with a Jeff Foxworthy type list of you might be a Xellennial if. Let's get into it. A lot of these things will apply to generations before Xellennials and a lot of generations after Xellennials. This is just a you might be if. Let's just get into it real quick, alright? You might be a Xellennial if you had a rental section at the front of your Albertsons, King Soopers, or Safeway. You might be a Xellennial if you thought bagging your own food at Cub's Food was awesome. You might be a Xellennial if you were excited to get the AOL 30-day free trial in the mail. And you remember the... Anyway, you guys know the sound. It's hard to replicate, but if you're a Xellennial, you know what's up. You might be a Xellennial if you know who shot Mr. Burns. That was a very fun and interesting couple of episodes of The Simpsons. You might be a Xellennial if you had any one of the Super Soakers, Super Soaker 100, of course, and then any of the other massively bigger Super Soakers afterwards. I remember the one you put on like a backpack that was kind of like a flamethrower, just a bunch of water, just all kinds of watery carnage. You might be a Xellennial if you love the movie Space Jam. The original Michael Jordan Saves the Universe, not the supposedly new LeBron James Saves the Universe Space Jam. You might be a Xellennial if you had Micro Machines, and trust me, if you had Micro Machines, if you still have them, keep them and try and sell them on eBay because they're going for a lot of money right now. You might be a Xellennial if you had to buy the same album on vinyl, tape, and CD, and MP3. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Basically, Xellennials had to buy all their favorite stuff 2, 3, or 4 times on different media platforms in the span of 10 years. This technology advanced so greatly and so fast, which is kind of what in a nutshell way to describe what a Xellennial is. You might be a Xellennial if you had any one of these, and then you had to rebuy these on DVD, and then you had to rebuy these on digital. Luckily, I still have them, and I have a VHS, so I can be nostalgic whenever I want. If you're gonna go see the new Aladdin, put a like down below and let me know. It's coming out soon. I don't know what to think yet. And I'm censoring this one on purpose because this is the infamous band cover of The Little Mermaid, the one that you're not supposed to have anymore. These are all the Black Diamond versions as well, if that means anything to you. Go on eBay and look up Black Diamond VHS Disney tapes. It's a lot of crazy prices people are wanting to pay for, or at least selling them for. I don't know if they're getting any money for them, but they're definitely selling them for crazy amounts. And who knows, I might give this one away as a giveaway. You never know. You never know. Just so you can have a piece of history. So make sure you enter these little giveaways and contests. You might be a Xellennial if TGIF was your favorite night of the week. You got together as a family, had some dinner, maybe ordered some pizza, got to watch Step by Step, Family Matters, Dinosaurs. My grandpa would always say, "Hey, Urkel's on tonight." We'd always watch Urkel.
Now, if you want to do the Steve Urkel dance, all you have to do is hitch up your pants, bend your knees, and stick out your pelvis. I'm telling you, baby, it's better than that.
You might be a Xellennial if Saturday morning cartoons were awesome. I love Saturday morning cartoons. They were one of my favorite things to look forward to. I especially loved Recess. I love Saturday morning programming. There was one show called Super Fudge by G.D. Bloom, and that wasn't a cartoon, but it was a show, and it was really awesome. And of course, there was a Where's Waldo one as well. That was hard to say. Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? A Where's Waldo cartoon. Tell me your favorite Saturday morning cartoon down below. We'll talk about it. Maybe that'll be the next episode. We'll talk about our favorite Saturday morning cartoons, or our favorite TGIF episodes. You might be a Xellennial if you remember sitting in class and watching the space shuttle launch. It was a big deal for us. It was really cool. We had to just sit there, roll in the little TV thing, adjust the antennas, and watch the space shuttle. Those are just a couple of you might be a Xellennial if scenarios. I'm gonna come up with more throughout the entire series of this YouTube channel. Maybe we can get it hashtag trending. Before JT came along, the hashtag was just a £, and I don't even think I ever used it on my phone. I don't know, I can't remember. Let's do some trivia, huh? This trivia this is a game that I found at Target. This is not a plug for Target, this is not a plug for the game, but this is called Hella 90s Pop Culture Trivia Game. I thought it was pretty cool, so if you want to get your friends together and do some 90s trivia and play the game the right way, go for it. But I'm just going to read them off cards, and we'll do one maybe every video. You have to answer both questions correctly, but if you answer both questions correctly in the comments below, you get entered into the drawing, and who knows, you might win something cool. The first question: what is the name of Brain's sidekick in the cartoon that originally aired as a segment of the Animaniacs? So you had Brain, and that was an easy one. That was a softball. I like this one too. This one's awesome because it featured one of my crushes in the 90s, but I won't tell you who. What links these clues together? I'm going to give you 3 names, and you have to tell me what links them together. T-Boz, Left Eye, and Chili. Put both answers in the comments below. You'll be entered in the drawing. If you win, I'll let you know. Alright guys. That does it for Gus Explains It All. I hope you guys know what a Xellennial is now. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. If you feel like someone needs to see this video, go ahead and share it with them. Maybe they agree, maybe they disagree, but maybe they're trying to explain the generational gap between Generation X and Millennials. And this would be the perfect video for them to check out. So share it with your favorite Xellennial. Please go ahead and follow my Twitter and my Instagram. And if you missed any of my other videos, feel free to go back and check them out. Until next time, guys, this is Gus Gishwin, the 90s Magician, saying be amazed and have a happy.